Welcome to the part 2 someone actually asked for, where I turn Five Nights at Freddy's characters and the storyline into a slice of life. Like I said, this is a part 2 and I recommend watching the first video before this one, but just a quick recap. Last time we established that Michael would be the main character of this series, while being the pizzeria's manager. And the whole concept of the series was that Michael wanted to make a horror story, so he uses the power of narrative to keep the audience on edge, while literally nothing bad is happening. So that pretty much sums it up, and now thanks to RedGirl193, we're expanding the story and talking about Michael's siblings. I wanted to add William Afton as well in this video, but this already took way too long. I'm not gonna keep you guys waiting any further. So let's jump straight to the first design, and that is Elizabeth Afton herself. For her design, I wanted her to look more like Circus Baby, while also keeping her outfit in check so it's still practical for her to play around in. And to achieve that, I gave her 2 twin tails instead of her hair being loose, and overall with frills. Is that the name? Is that the name? Frills? I closed the tab! Frills, that's the name, I was right. Okay, so I gave her some frills on the overall, so it still looks like a dress while not being a dress. The reason I wanted to do that was because now William was a much more present father for everyone. So when he decided he would make an animatronic based off his own daughter, he would pay more attention to detail and focus on making it more like her. I didn't want to change Circus Baby's design, especially because this is a video about the siblings. I decided to change Elizabeth instead. I also looked up her age on the wiki, which is between 5 and 12 years old, which is a very big area to work with. But coincidentally, if you take away the 5-year-old route, from 6 to 12 years old is also the age where children start losing their baby teeth, their milk teeth. So I did exactly that. Design choices aside, let's talk about her character. Elizabeth is a very active and extroverted kid. She loves her dad's animatronics and can always be seen wearing their merch. I decided she would be like 9-10 years old, and she also leads a fan club in her school for the animatronics and the pizzerias in general. Her favorite animatronic is Circus Baby, of course, but Freddy and Foxy are following close behind. And there she is, the middle child of the family, Elizabeth Afton. The next one doesn't have a canon name, but the most accepted theory is that he's named Evan, so we'll go with that. For his clothes, I imagine that he would wear Michael's hand-me-downs. The only things that were truly his, that were truly bought for him, were shoes, because he couldn't walk on very big shoes. As for his hair, I imagine he would try to copy Michael's hairstyle, but he doesn't have quite enough hair for that, so it kinda lands on this limbo between looking like him and not looking like him. Evan isn't a really big fan of the animatronics, so I think that he would look up to Michael a lot for sharing the same opinion, and at the same time for, you know, Michael's not scared of the animatronics like he is. I wouldn't say scared, more like freaked out, but either way, he sees Michael as a kind of safe space, safe person to be around with. I know it's so ironic compared to what happens on the original story, but I just want these two to be happy. I think Evan would be the sibling we see the most throughout the hypothetical series, especially because he follows Michael around. And probably while Michael is trying to turn the story into horror, he'll start monologuing at some point with Evan around, and he'll just freak out about what Michael said, deeming it to be true, and he has to desperately explain that it isn't and try to calm him down. I think this would happen very often if this is an actual series. Also, don't judge me on the background of this thing. It was a mess. I tried softening the lines using the blur tool, but it was all on the same layer, and just don't do that. Don't commit the same mistake I did. Anyways, I decided to redo everything, and it turned out well. And that's all from me for today. Thank you for watching it this far. Remember to subscribe if you want to, leave a like on the video, all that stuff. And until we meet again,